I bought a fake PS2 from AliExpress, and in this video, we're gonna unbox it, test it out, and see if this console is better than the real thing. Now here's the thing, I've seen a lot of fake consoles in my day, you know, anything from a fake PS5 to a fake Xbox Series X, but a fake PS2, that's a new one. Let's see what's inside. Now I already have this thing unboxed, and clearly from the top it looks like a PS2 Slim, got some PS2 controllers here as well, and it looks like it's called the PAP2, or as I like to call it, the Poppy 2.
I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days.
Alright, and first of all, it looks like we have our PS2 thing here, and it looks about the right size. We'll take a closer look at that in just a second. Now down below it we have couple of wired controllers, and we have a charging cable here, HDMI cable. Oh, actually, it's natively HDMI. That's kind of nice and different than usual. Also got an SD card here, which appears to have a micro SD card inside. It's a 64 gig micro SD card, and as you can tell, it's probably a fake, probably a knockoff, so it might corrupt itself, but who knows. All right, now let's take a look at this controller here. Pulling it out, sure enough, wow, that looks just like a DualShock 2 there, and actually even more surprising is the port here, which looks like just like the PS2 port. I wonder if this actually works on a real PS2. We'll test that out later, but that's really interesting that it's not USB. And taking a closer look, because this company is trying to avoid the wrath of Sony, they decided to change their button layout to ABXY because, you know, everything else doesn't look just like a PS2. Like, why? They always do this, but anyways, that's the first thing I noticed. And then of course our joysticks here, which feel kind of funky. Don't know how to explain it, but it just feels wrong. Otherwise, they've got start, select, analog, got a D-pad here, which is actually a little bit better than it should be. Now, next up, guys, let's take a look at this PS2 Slim. And honestly, there might be a real PS2 Slim in here. I wouldn't be surprised, but let's, wait, hold on. Is it? No, it's not. It's, that looks way too close to a real PS2 Slim. Okay, so first of all, we have our glossy portion on the left, matte portion on the right, which does emulate one of the PS2 Slim models, which I'll show on the screen here. Now, looking at the front, we have two slots for memory cards that are just blocked off, but you can see that's where memory cards usually go. Also got our two controller ports, a reset button, a power button, an SD card slot, and usually this little slot right here pops open for a disc, but it looks like neither of these buttons actually actuate that, so it doesn't pop up or anything, which is not surprising. And here on the left side, we do have the same little levels that the PS2 Slim has, even got some ventilation down here, but we are missing all rubber feet, which is very interesting. That's actually really annoying, but not surprising. And flipping to the back, we have a port for power. We also have an auxiliary jack, HDMI port, and yeah, let's go ahead and compare this to a real PS2 Slim and yeah, just see how it compares. Wait, hold on. Yeah, this thing is straight up exactly the same dimensions from the top. And looking at it from the front, they're pretty much exactly the same. You know, there are some small differences here and there, but in general, it's the exact same kind of thing. Then on the side here, you literally cannot tell a difference because it looks exactly the same. Flipping to the back, there's obviously a difference in ports, and then flipping to this side, looks very similar, but a little bit different here. And the one I really want to compare it to, just for giggles here, is this PS2 Super Slim, which you probably have not seen before. And if you haven't, go check out this video on my other channel called Jacob R, because this thing is wild, but go check that out after this video because you want to see this fake, stupid, weird PS2 first. So guys, let's go ahead and I guess plug this thing in, try to turn it on and see if it even works. All right, all plugged in, and I actually forgot. I was going to plug in our PS2 controller here, or our fake PS2 controller, into the real PS2 and see if it fits, and yeah, sure enough, it's the exact same port. That it just fits fine there. That's so weird. I don't know why they went that far to make the ports exactly the same, but guys, let's go ahead and turn this console on, and 3, 2, 1. But guys, here we are. We're booted up here, and of course, first thing you see is we have about 15 bajillion games on here. Let's see if they actually tell us how many there are. We're on PS1 games right now, and there's 521 PS1 games. So this thing actually must be somewhat powerful if it can play all those PS1 games. So let's go ahead and see what else is on here. Okay, here we go. So we have PS1, we got Capcom, Neo Geo, which is Neo Geo. That's kind of interesting. Also NES, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Master System, Game Gear, and Mega Drive here. So let's, wait, Game Gear? That's weird, but let's go ahead and just start scrolling through these games and see exactly what's on this thing. So we'll start with the classic NES. It looks like there's only 72 games, which is kind of light for NES. That's honestly surprising. Super Mario Bros. 4, that's definitely not a thing on the NES, but all right, or is it? I don't think it is, but wait. Hold on. We're on the NES right now, and they're showing me a Nintendo 3DS game. All right, let's try to boot this up and see what it actually is. It's just Super Mario Bros. 2. They just got the wrong cover art. That's hilarious. Oh, and if I press start and select, it goes to this menu right here where we can go back and exit the game. Cool. And keep scrolling through here, see what other stupid stuff is on here. The classic Super Mario 14, my favorite game of all time. That looks like some updated cover art. It's like a morphing of the Super Mario 14 plus a Wii U character of Mario. But all right, let's go back and try out something else. Let's try Game Boy Advance next and see what's on here. So the classic Pokemon games, that makes sense. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team can barely fit on the screen, or actually it doesn't fit on the screen. Super Mario Advance, Mario Kart Super Circuit, is that Wait, hold on. No, they're using a combo of Mario Kart 8, or is that might just be Mario Kart 8 as their cover art, but they put Mario Kart Super Circuit on there. That what? Let's boot it up and see what it actually is. Okay, yeah, it's just Mario Kart Super Circuit, which makes sense. Let's go ahead and I'll play this for a second and just make sure it works. I'd be very surprised if this console cannot emulate Game Boy Advance games, but you never know. We've seen crazier things. And I don't know, man. I always find it so goofy playing games like this because we're playing a Nintendo game on a PlayStation console that has Nintendo buttons on it, and we're using an analog stick for a Game Boy Advance game. Like, what? What? But it works. But let's go back and see what else is on this console. There we go, Mario Tennis Advanced Power Tour. Actually, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I played this game so much on the Game Boy Advance, but it's, again, the wrong cover art. I think that's the cover art from the Mario Tennis game on the Switch. But I'm going to boot this game up just for the nostalgic feels, if it'll even load at all, because it's just on a black screen now. Dude, oh man, 2005. This gives me just like a rush of nostalgia. I play this game so much. Did it even get the Game Boy thing right? Wait, hold on. Wait, did it just restart itself? What just happened? Am I pressing the wrong button? Nope, it's just broken. Okay, every time I press any button, it just goes back and restarts. Well, that's not ideal. All right, well, now we're running into issues, of course. But let's go back and scroll through here some more. And wrong cover art, of course. And I should mention there's only 93 games here. Wait, hold on. That's not 93, that's 93 pages. Oh, I was wrong, hold up. And actually, I think on every single one of these consoles, as you scroll through after like 2 or 3 pages, or maybe 4 or 5 pages, the cover art just disappears and now it just says Anbernic. Kind of disappointing. Because that's one of my favorite parts, is just seeing the cover art they put on these random games. But next up, let's try out Game Boy Color games, see what's on here. You get 32 pages worth of games, which is just crazy. On Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, they have Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is straight up a Wii U game. They're not even trying to hide that. Hold on, what is Pac-Man by Jeff Froween? Oh, what? What is this? I don't know what to say. This is something. Hey, at least on this console they call it Frogger 1 and Frogger 2 instead of Frog Crossing the Street like it does on a bunch of those other consoles I've tested in the past. I'll throw some footage of that, but it's always goofy. Also got GTA 1 and 2, but anyways, let's go back and check out our next thing. I'll check out Game Gear actually, because that's just kind of wild to have on this console. And we have 13 pages of Game Gear games, which honestly might be every Game Gear game in existence, because it's the Game Gear. There's just not that much stuff on it. But as far as I can tell, I think they're getting the cover art right on these games, at least some of them. I didn't play much Game Gear back in the day, so I don't know for sure. But next I want to try Super Nintendo, and then we'll try out PS1 games, because that's what I'm most curious about. And first up, yeah, that looks like the right Donkey Kong Country cover art, I think. Yeah, okay, they're stepping up their game. They're getting some cover art right. That's cool. And yeah, look at this. I think they might just have every single Super Nintendo game. That's just kind of wild they fit that many games on one console these days. But guys, let's go to PS1, check that out, and we can see we have Bomberman World, Colony Wars, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. I thought it was a good one to test because usually it runs pretty poorly. Spider-Man 2, and I will say so far all of the games look like they have the correct cover art. We'll start with Rayman 2 because that's a classic. I played that on my neighbor's PS1 all the time back in, I don't know, early 2000s, I guess. Okay, well that's not good. I'm just on the first screen here, and as I hop around, it'll start like freezing and dropping frames here. You can kind of see it every once in a while. Yeah, it's running a little bit better now, but for a second it was pretty rough. Oh, there it goes. It just froze completely. Now it's going downhill. What is going on? It's just, oh my gosh. It is now unplayable. I went through the little hole and I'm just, yeah, look at that. No words. We're on straight up 1 FPS right now. That's not good. All right, yeah, that's not gonna cut it. I can't do anything else. Let's go back and try out another game, I guess, if it'll let me. There we go. Okay, back at it, and we're gonna try to warm up to Silent Hill because that's probably gonna be the worst one. But let's try out something else here. We'll try out Crash Bash. That's another game I played when I was a kid, and I feel like if Crash Bash doesn't work, what is going to work, because last week I tested Crash Bash on a $10 handheld device, so like it should work on this thing, right? Hopefully. Let's find out. And you know what, guys? We should try this, a real controller on the fake PS2. Like, I don't know, it's got the same port, so it might actually work. Let's try it out. Yep, there it goes. All right, so I'm P1. Let's go ahead and select a player. P2 over here with the real controller, and yeah, it's working. Wow, that's actually surprising, but kind of cool. Okay, yeah, so this is running fine right here. So I guess this console can play some PS1 games. Okay, actually, I'm having some major issues with this controller. It's just pushing me into the corner. That could be a controller issue, so let me try a different real PS2 controller. Scratch that, we're going PS1 here, and yeah, that's having issues too. Okay, so never mind. This thing, it kind of works, but I guess doesn't have full support for a PS1 or PS2 controller, which is interesting. I guess we have, what is the difference here? Yeah, I don't know. Looking at the pins next to each other, there is one pin missing on the fake controller port, so maybe there's pins that are not in this console that are connected to the real controllers that aren't actually picking up anything, and it's just causing issues. So yeah, I don't know. Can't use a real controller on this console though, which is honestly disappointing. But guys, let's go back and try out another PS1 game. All right, guys, I think it's time to try out Silent Hill here and see how this runs. I can't imagine it's gonna be very good, but we'll try it out anyways. Okay, honestly, so far it's running fine. I haven't done a whole lot here, but usually when I boot up Silent Hill on an emulator like this, it boots up and it's like got crackling sound. It'll start freezing. It just like won't do anything. But this has gotten farther than I expected. But all right, man, honestly, overall, I'd say pretty solid for this machine. But guys, let's go ahead and turn this thing off, open it up, and see what the inside looks like. Okay, so I'm taking the screws out the bottom, and there's one screw that's already pre-stripped for me, which is just hilarious. Which is a classic AliExpress thing, though. All right, now pulling the bottom off, what looks like, oh, wow. Okay, so it's not surprising, but at the same time, it is kind of always just jolting to open up a case like this and see so few electronics in it and see like such a large case. So up here, there's clearly one PCB that goes to our reset button and our power button. We've got a cable that goes down to our main board here, which has all the brains of their operation, as well as our HDMI, auxiliary power, then a couple more ribbon cables that go over to our controller board here. And also there's just some hot glue string chilling out over here, which is kind of funny. I'm not sure what that's for. Oh, they like they glued in like a little clear piece to look like the IR sensor that's on the real PS2. You can see it down there in the corner. All right, that's random, but I guess just trying to match the exact functionality or exact look of the PS2. But guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to Crackin' Carts here. And if you want to see another video from Crackin' Carts, go check out this video where we got some really strange PSPs from AliExpress. You won't be disappointed. Go check it out, and I'll see you next time.